My college roommate left dishes in the sink for 4 months. I finally lost it. Okay, I need to get something off my chest. I swear, if I have to look at one more moment of that moldy casserole dish, I will scream. For months. 4 months of greasy dishes, and yesterday I lost it. I, a usually even-tempered, conflict-averse human being, flipped out. And honestly, I don't regret it. But I also feel sort of guilty, relieved, and completely exhausted. Let's flash back to August, move-in day. I was very excited. Freshman year, new town, new life. My roommate, Chloe, was nice enough, I guessed. We chatted a bit online, discovered we both enjoyed indie rock and true crime podcasts. She was quieter and more laid back than me, I guessed, which would counteract my somewhat type A personality. Our dorm room was a standard double. 2 beds, 2 desks, 2 closets, and a mini fridge and microwave to share. We shared the bathroom down the hall, but that little kitchenette area, a sink, a small counter, and those appliances, was ours alone. My own little sanctuary, I prided myself. Oh, how naive I was. The first week was wonderful. We got settled, decorated, went to orientation events. I'm a pretty clean person. Not pathologically, just I like things tidy. My mom was always drumming into me. Clean up after yourself. Always leave a space better than you found it. So if I used a mug, it would have been rinsed and put in the drying rack in 2 minutes. If I cooked instant noodle soup, the pot was washed while the noodles were still hot. It's just my thing. Chloe, though, was different. I picked up on it early. A coffee cup on her desk for one day, then another. A wrapper from a granola bar on the floor next to her bed. Small things. I wrote them off. We're just getting into the rhythm of things, I told myself. Everyone settles in differently. Then the dishes. It started innocently enough. A lone bowl, left in the sink after breakfast. I figured she'd get around to it. She didn't. The following day, another bowl was placed alongside it. And a spoon. By the end of the first week, there was a tiny pile, 3 bowls, 2 mugs, a fork. I even saw a small, crusty plate with what seemed like dried ketchup. My internal alarm bells were starting to ring, but I quieted them. It's early days. Don't be that roommate. Give her space. I tried the passive approach first. I'd wash my dishes, and then, very conspicuously, rearrange her dishes in the sink, making sure they were front and center. Sometimes, I'd even move them to the side of the sink, hoping the visual cue of an empty basin would shame her into action. It never worked. The pile just grew around my strategically placed clean space. It was like a slowly encroaching, unholy monument to procrastination. The sink was a biohazard by the end of September. Seriously. We're talking Jenga skyscraper of mugs, bowls, plates, and utensils. There was a cloying, overpowering smell that permeated our little kitchenette, a mix of old food, dampness, and something faintly fungal. I started eating all meals in the dining hall, or if I cooked something simple like oatmeal, I'd eat out of a paper bowl. I bought my own set of cutlery and hid it in my desk drawer, cleaning it after I used it and drying it with fanatical tidiness. I couldn't even use the sink anymore. If I needed to fill up my water bottle, I'd have to push it slowly under the faucet, not touching anything, not breathing too hard. My friends would visit, and I'd experience that immediate, searing humiliation. "Oh my God, what smells?" they'd whisper. I'd brush it off with something about Chloe being really busy, or just forgetful, but my face would burn. At one point, my friend Sarah, who is a notoriously blunt person, entered, took one look at the sink, and just said, "Dude, that's disgusting. You need to talk to her." I weakly nodded, but the words just weren't on my tongue. I tried to leave hints. Sweet ones initially. "Hi, Chloe. Just a friendly reminder, re the dishes. Let's keep the sink empty." Then slightly firmer ones. "The sink is seriously full. Would you mind clearing these out as soon as possible?" Then, in a desperate measure, a note that just read, "Mold." I even underlined the grime surface side of a plateful of bread. Nothing. The notes would stay for a day or two, and then disappear, having been discarded. But the dishes did not. I even went so far as to try to talk to her, but my conflict avoidance made all such efforts stammered suggestions awkward. "Hey, Chloe, I was just kind of wondering when you get a chance, maybe you could, fix the sink? It's filling up, kind of." She'd look up at her laptop, smile vaguely, and say, "Oh, yeah, totally." I'll do it later, and then simply keep on doing whatever it was that she was doing before. Later never came. The worst of all was the casserole dish. It appeared sometime in late September. A massive, rectangular glass casserole dish, covered in what appeared to be baked macaroni and cheese. It just sat there day by day, silently growing. At first, a wispy white fuzz. Then green. Then, an absolutely sickening black. It was the crowning jewel, the centerpiece of the dish mountain, a constant, oozing reminder of my inability to speak up. By mid-November, for months in, I was fed up. Finals were approaching, and tension ran high. The odor had also become a constant visitor to our room, despite having the window open. I was getting angrier with Chloe. It wasn't about the dishes anymore. It was about the blatant disregard for our living area, for my well-being, for cleanliness. It was as if she just didn't care, and that was like she didn't care about me. The snap did finally happen yesterday. I was trying to make a cup of tea. Simple enough, one would imagine. Just get the kettle under the faucet and bring water to a boil. Step there. Only I couldn't position the kettle under the faucet without colliding with the Pison tower of sloping dishes. As I was trying to maneuver it, I pushed against a notorious casserole dish with my arm, and a hunk of black, fuzzy mold dislodged and fell into my newly washed shirt. That was it. Something inside me just snapped. I didn't scream. I didn't throw anything. I just stood there, staring at mildew on my shirt, at this disgusting sink, and a cold, quiet fury engulfed me. I turned to Chloe, who was, unsurprisingly, engrossed in her phone on her bed. "Chloe," I said, attempting to keep my voice level, sort of unnervingly so. "We need to talk about the dishes." She looked up, a little surprised at my tone. "Oh, hey, what about them? What about them?" I repeated, my voice increasing in volume. "Chloe, for months. 4 months worth of dirty dishes sitting in that sink. 4 months of not being able to use our sink to wash dishes. 4 months of this room smelling like a dumpster. I've left notes. I've tried to sit down and talk to you. I've tried to be patient, but I just can't do this anymore." She actually scoffed. "It's not a huge deal, Maya. I'll do them. I've just been pretty busy with school and things." "Busy?" There was a laugh, a bitter, frantic one. "Busy doing what, Chloe? Watching Netflix all day, scrolling TikTok? I see you, Chloe. I see you stack your dishes there every day. I see you navigate around them. I see you leave them. It's not that you're busy. It's that you don't care. And that's not fair to me." Her face set. "You're being melodramatic. It's just dishes." "No," I said, now trembling but firm. "It's not just dishes. It's disrespect. It's me having to live in a filthy room because you're too lazy to take 5 minutes to clean up after yourself. It's me being ashamed when my friends come over. It's me feeling like you don't respect our home space whatsoever." I pointed at the casserole pan. "That," I told her, my voice shaking a bit, "has been on the counter since September. It's building an ecosystem. I can't even fill my water bottle without running into your mold. I am finished, Chloe. I am completely finished." There was a pause that hung. She looked between me and the sink and back at me once more. Her face was all defensiveness and, to my surprise, a flicker of something that was very close to real surprise, like she had not even realized how much this was affecting me. "Listen," she finally said, her voice soft, "I know I'm not tidy. And yes, I have been totally frazzled. My parents are doing really badly, and frankly, I've just tried to keep my head above water on the schoolwork. The dishes just piled up, and then it felt like too much to do." "Okay, Hedge." This was the twist I did not see coming. I knew that she was having family problems, but she never told me. It wasn't justification for the dishes, not really, but it was context. It made me a little less angry, but the annoyance was still percolating. "I get you're stressed out, Chloe," I said, trying to remain calm. "Ida." "But that's no reason to make our shared space unbearable. You need to see, this has been impacting me for months. I can't use the kitchen. I can't even use the sink. It's killing my peace of mind." She sighed, combing her fingers through her hair. "I know. You're right. I'm sorry, Maya. I really am. I just was paralyzed. The more there were, the more impossible it was to even glance at them, much less clean them." "So, what are you going to do about it?" I asked, crossing my arms. This wasn't about an apology anymore. It was about doing something. "I'll wash them," she said, her voice utterly demoralized. "Now." All of them. And she did. Took her almost 2 hours. 2 hours of scrubbing and scraping and gagging sounds coming from the sink. I sat at my desk, pretending to study, but secretly watching her. This strange mix of satisfaction and residual apprehension in my chest. She even bleached it, which was a first. When she was done, the sink gleamed. It was empty.
Clean.
Miraculous. The room smelled cleaner. The air was lighter. She came to my desk later that evening. "Hey," she said quietly. "Thanks for speaking up. I know I made a bad choice. I really had no idea how bad it would be for you. I'm going to get it together, I promise." I gazed at her, actually gazed at her. She actually did look sorry. "Thank you, Chloe," I said. "I appreciate it. And if you're struggling with things, you can let me know. We're roommates. We live here together." She smiled a bit hesitantly.
"Yeah."
"Thanks, Maya. It's been a day since the snap. The sink is still clean. She even washed out her breakfast bowl this morning, right away. It's a beginning. I do not know if this is permanent, or if the dish mountain will slowly begin to grow again. But for the first time in months, I am able to breathe in our bedroom. I learned that sometimes being conflict-averse is not politeness, it is being a doormat. And sometimes snapping isn't losing control, it is finally taking it back. I'm still a bit shaken from the fight, but also rightly empowered. I stood up for myself. I drew a line in the sand. And maybe, quite possibly, our living situation will actually be manageable now. Send me luck, Reddit. I'm going to go put the kettle on and make myself a cup of tea in a clean sink with a clean kettle. It's all about the little victories, isn't it? TLDR, my college roommate left dirty dishes in the sink for 4 months, and they had turned into a moldy biohazard. After attempting passive-aggressive measures and nice hints, I finally lost it when mold from a casserole dish splattered on my shirt. I called her out on it directly. She confessed that she had been drowning in personal problems, and then she proceeded to clean all the dishes. The sink is now sparkling clean, and I feel an odd combination of relief and empowerment.